Ah. Okay, boss. Let's go.
Hey, what's up, people? What's going on? My name's Illbliss, ILLIGATY, and guess what? I'm at the Pulse.ng office, to take the entire team, the entire Pulse team through my album. It's called ILLIGATY 7057. Big ups to the Pulse team. Let's go.
Baby, wanna come closer.
ILLIGATY 7057 is my fourth studio album. A lot of people have reached out to me asking about those digits on the sleeve, trying to find out what it is. It's like your ATM numbers, it's like your PIN, it's like phone number, so, and they kept asking, but I mean just to clarify, 7057 is my NYSC number. I came into Lagos a couple of years ago. I came to Lagos quite some time ago for my youth service, and I came from the east. I was born and raised in Enugu, little town in eastern Nigeria, very quiet town, So Lagos was always a dream location for us for our music.
Been a dope lyricist from the photos. Flow so barack, it's photos. Black bandana people.
After youth service, I decided it was time to cross over to Lagos. This is kind of like the same sentiment when you live in Alabama and you're trying to get to New York. I got into Lagos on a Saturday morning, and I came in here with a bus. I came in with a bus straight from Enugu, and I went through Jibo. I went through Ojota, then eventually got to Jibo, and it was raining. So I got down from the bus and I kept asking, how do I get to Iyanopaja, the NYSC camp? And eventually I got lost in the process. It was all just trying to meander through the streets under the rain in a town where you were seeing like 5,000 to 6,000, 7,000 people moving at the same time. It was culture shock for me. Eventually I got to the camp and I walked into the camp, and it was a camp. So I queued up under the rain, and then the man in charge came and just said, hey, you come here, which uni? You're number 7057, and he put a tag on my shirt. I still have that tag. I couldn't make it the album cover because it's a lot faded now, so I kept it, and I told myself that these were going to be very memorable numbers for me, and I was going to use them for something very iconic in the future. This catalogs my entire journey through this music business. For me, it's a celebration. This album is a celebration. It is that point. It's almost like taking people through your journey, and you've gotten this far, because I came here with no privileges. I came here with no connects. I came here with no record label, no godfather, just a kid from the east with a heart and skill, so that's what the 7057 means. ILLIGATY is one of my numerous names. A couple of people call me Oga Boss. They call me ILLIGATY, Illimanjaro, Illiraba. Like, seriously, like, you could go on for days about these names coming in, but ILLIGATY stuck for me because there's just something very authoritative about it and classy, so I decided I was going to brand this album. Production on this album came majorly from a producer in the East called Kezi Clef. Kezi Clef has a studio the size of my hat, probably, or my cap. It's such a box studio right in front of the Nnamdi Azikiwe Stadium in Enugu. So I found out about Kezi, and I went to his studio to see him and check out his stuff. Because I've always been the guy to put the unknown producers on. I've always been the guy to try out, a guy that hasn't had a big break. I feel like they're going to bring their A game to it. Besides Kezi Clef, I also had Tunex, who I collaborated with on my last album for Bankalat, and Tunex made a couple of records on this. Reinhard Tega from Chalk City is another young kid I have loads of respect for. He contributed a song for this album. My longtime collaborator XYZ made 2 records on this album as well. I worked with Bigfoot as well, with somebody I've known for a while as well. Yeah, and there'll be as well. Fino and Suspect, the song they produced is like a remake. It's a remake of a song called Hustler's Footsteps from my Oga Boss album, my sophomore album. I brought it back again and we rehashed it, and Vector got on this one as well, and Fino is still on it. But the production credits are shared between Suspect and yes, and Fino as well. I must say this, Suspect supervises everything I record. So even if I got production from 20 different producers, he is the guy that sits back and says, you know what? No, let's cut down this. So he kind of arranges my music. He records me, all the sessions, you know, I did it with him, and then, you know, he records me as well and mixes and masters as well. So the final product, you know, is kind of like his baby.
We them boys, them evil boys, came a long way from Coast City blocks to 1G4.
Yeah, the first song is incidentally the last song I recorded for this album. Yeah, it's called Nkali. Nkali is an Igbo word. It stands for superiority. That's what it means in Igbo. You know, so and I got Jimmy, you know, I mean, big homie Jimmy Jat, who put me on his first album at a time when nobody was willing to give me a chance. So I felt like celebrating your fourth album, you needed to go back, you know, and kind of like just pay homage to homages due. So I sent him the beat. He loved it, and then he dropped his vocals on it. So it's called Nkali.
Once again, it's on. Cool DJ Jimmy Jack. Nkali, Illbliss, aka
Congrats. Let's go. Come on. I ain't gonna see Nkali.
The next song is called Babao. Shout out to Reinhard Tega from Chalk City. He put a call across to me and said, boss, I have this beat for you, and it's hip hop though, it's not lamba. You know, so I'm like, Reinhard, send it in, let's listen. You know, and he sent it and I liked it, and I'm like, okay, let's make a record. Let's put the ethnic back, you know, because on my last album I messed with there's a lot of ethnic vibe. So I decided I was just going to restore that on this song as well, you know, because I also have a percentage of my fans that want to hear me spit in Igbo, you know. So the song is called Babao and it was produced by Reinhard.
Babao, we are give them. Babao, we are give them. Babao, we are give them. Anyhow, we be Baba give them.
The next song is called Hustler's Feet. This features my very good friend Vector, and Fino is on the chorus. It's a remake. It's actually a remake of a song. Yeah.
ILLIGATY.
Suspect on the
Go.
When you no longer have the capital backing you, switch up lanes for new avenues. Get your change if they mad at you, cause if you don't, the people who do will brag at you. Barak boys see guns are not new to me. Lafayette, you see fun is not new to me. Rappers bite so gums are not new to me. Criticism of my lyricism is just views to me.
21 gun salutes up in the utmost. ILLIGATY VC at the topmost. Came back for you, but you gone ghost. This is real life, no tweets, F an Instagram post. Oh, they don't know. Rappers been around money long enough to know who's faking it. This bread we're baking it, then we're breaking it around the table. Let us all eat. Let Fowls eat. Let YC and Dremel eat. That's what it was. Put the youngins on. That's what it was. It was authoritative. I had to come authoritative on the song because, I mean, on the record with VEC, it has to be a statement, you know. So, I mean, shout out to Vector. Yeah, yeah. The next song is the next song is Jaon Liar. As Ricardo Banks calls it, the summer record, you know, produced by Tunex. And Easy came through immediately. Heady, I was like, boys, this is sugar. Let's go. And then he put his verse, and then we shot the video, you know. And it's terrorizing the clubs now, and I'm happy about it because it makes you confident when you know you have such records. I know Mayako is a new artist. I mean, at the point of this session, but I've heard a lot of unreleased stuff that he made, and I just fell in love with his style, you know. Yeah, yeah, I know your views on Mac, but to be honest, give him a little bit more time. You're going to hear some records that will shock you, though. you know. So I heard it and I sent him the beat, and he said, you know, they all want to make girl records with Illbliss. Like, they said, boss man, the chicks, man, it's all about the girls. They determine the songs. So I said, okay, go ahead, but just give me a good record. And he came up with this. He came up with Barry, you know, and I hope you like it.
Baby, wanna come closer? Let me grab that ILLIGATY. I remember when I want to start. Let's English, I did. A second on sign to a more baba. I go give you title, good girls don't scarce.
Life of Claudio is a song that was inspired by the autobiography of Claudio Ranieri, the coach for Leicester City. I bought his biography after he won the league last season. They begin to give you a lot of spotlight when you achieve. Like, before then, nobody paid any major attention to Ranieri. He had gone through the various leagues, from the Italian league to the Serie A to everywhere, and some of those jobs, he was almost sacked from some of those jobs. And then he came to the Premiership, and then he won the league with a bunch of in-betweeners, with a team that nobody had any much regards or respect for. I am an underdog in the music business. Every day of my life, I wake up trying to prove myself, trying to basically show that I am still in it and I can still get it done. That book inspired Life of Claudio, you know, and it has Bowie on it. You should look out for Bowie's rants. Dear God was produced by XYZ. I woke up one morning and I heard, on the street I live, there's a hospital on it. So I woke up and I heard, I think somebody had just lost someone. So I could hear a lady screaming and saying, I mean, it was so tough. It was, you know, like, I heard all the stuff she had to say, almost sort of like she was questioning God, and she was saying that if God had done the things he was supposed to do for me, I wouldn't be going through all of this pain. You know, so I just sat down and just started writing and just started, I said to myself, Nigerians are going through so much all at the same time. You know, so I just decided to write a record, you know, called Dear God. Sober, like a sober record.
Dear God, there's masses and masses of us. For how long will the people suffer, carry the cross? Funny how this oil became a gift and a curse. Funny how we think twice before performing our just. Crooked politicians ensure we're running a loss. Hopeless, sad faces all cramped in the bus. So much pain when I'm inking my thoughts. My tummy knots from anxiety, bipolarity, slave chains on my ankles and wrists, living in bondage.
Kanye is a record I made with Runtown. But, you know, like, back in the day, Runtown started out with Fino. Yes, so they were very close friends. And when I was making my record, Anama Chikwano, on my Oga Boss album, Runtown was the engineer for that particular song. You understand? So, I mean, us hooking up was... And he called me, he was in the States. He called me, he was like, boss, this beat is mad, but we'll take it, we'll go the Ghana route. We'll give it to them. So that's what the song, it's a feel-good song.
Productions. Now waiting your girlfriend to call me. Olowo, this kind of life I used to imagine. Oh no, tell them it's a ball and it's a heartbeat. You can hate me, as long as you need me, then you hate me. Baby girl, you got me. Say the way you want it.
Okay, so yeah, the bonus songs that you already know, Ayakata featuring Fowls and Says.
Fowls today, Ayakata, Illity show, Ayakata, and it's becoming a tradition the way we killing the show, Ayakata.
And Unko featuring Flavor, that previously released songs.
I know Uncle, men know Uncle. Every day we're balling, men are busy making money.
Before the album dropped, so that's it. That's ILLIGATY 7057.
On this album, ILLIGATY 7057, I can see that. I see YC, Dremo, Mayokun, Ricardo Banks, you know, breath of fresh air. You know, people in the pop circle right now, they are on the album. You are updated with your sound, you're updated with your lyrics, you know, you're touching the now. And you still have that, you know, stamp of authority that this is Oga Boss. So you've not veered off much of what you've always, you know, made us believe, and you still embrace the new. So, you know, ILLIGATY 7057 definitely makes it as, you know, one of your best work. It might not be my personal best. I think that's between Oga Boss and the third album. Powerful. We always have conversations on which is the best, but this definitely ranks as high, you know, and it shows that you've released 2 albums in the space of 12 months. You've been working. It's something a lot of hip hop, generally Nigerian hip hop artists are lazy. They don't record as much, you know. They are looking for just one club single to take to the club to compete with Wizkid, but you know they forget that body of work, and that's why we like the likes of Pac, Jay-Z, Nas. You have a plethora of work for them, for, you know, you could always listen to. So now I have 4 albums and 2 EPs. Don't forget the EPs, Position of Power. That's a catalog, and I can just pick any album to rock with my mood. Okay, I'm feeling really moody now. I look at that album cover. This is what I want to listen to. You know, so thank you for, you know, putting in that work, you know, considering your fans, you know, and releasing new music. So I wish, you know, I know the album is going to do great already.
For everybody that contributed to this album, they moved my sound forward. All the younger artists, they just didn't send in choruses. They sat down and they said, boss, this is what I think we should do. So we worked together on the songs, you know. And I can only say thank you to them. I can only say God bless them in their careers. All I have is prayers for the younger generation in the music, you know. And this is the beginning of greater things to come. If you notice, there's no Oga Boss on the sleeve. ILLIGATY is a rebirth, so that's where we're taking it from.